All men do is lie. Lie, I tell you. And other Boraland news in this latest podcast of mine. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. Speaking of BTS, as I said in my opening, as I said in my title, all men do is lie. All we do is lie. V came out with some hell of a shocking news this morning, and I've been left grappling with it ever since. So V has announced Type 1. What does Type 1 mean? Is this another album coming down the pipeline? I assume so. It seems like Boraland is always busy. They always have plans coming down, and I have been already just dealing and grappling with and being just so happy and ecstatic that Jin is back for military service. But it's just been like a whirlwind of news. Since we've also gotten news that Jimin is coming out with Muse, his second full feature album as well. There's already a lot of principal photography that's out. He's covered in gorgeous flowers. Been seeing some midriff. We got now the reason why he was blonde, closer towards, military time, because these men always plan so much in advance. They always have so much content just ready to just slap you in the face with it. But I don't know why I was so shocked today. I'm assuming this announcement means it's an album coming from V. Why I mention all men do is lie is because Taehyung has been the habitual showing of his chest in this chapter 2 arc of BTS. All of them have pretty much gone shirtless. And I understand before, the Vanilla Army police come in and talk about, oh my God, there's so much more to them than just their body. Why can't we appreciate and respect them as musicians? I respect them as musicians. I love their goddamn music. But I can also appreciate the visuals, okay? Shh! Okay? I can appreciate the visuals, goddammit. But anyways, I'm just really happy. I'm excited to see what he has in store for us. I actually really, really enjoyed his single Friends. I really, really, really enjoyed that so much. It was such a poppy and top 40-esque song that I know did great, did numbers, but I wanted it to be like #1 on Billboard for X amount of weeks. I wanted to shatter so many records, and it did really well. But it was such a good, and I mean good, poppy single. And I really enjoyed that. So if this is an announcement of a next project, next musical album, because now we've had a second release from Namjoon, we've had a second release from Hobi, we're now in the process of getting a second release from Jimin with Muse, and now we have Taehyung as well. We have V with Type 1. The chest, I just love the lazy seduction of it all. Just him just kind of lean back against the wall, and just him just in these like sleep trousers, these leisure wear, leisure couture pants. Those pants that he's probably wearing in this teaser photos, probably like $5,000 for all I know. But I really love the seductive nature of V. I think the musical styling of his voice and the heavy jazzy influence of Layover, I really want him to delve more into that in this. This might be a complete departure from that, but he really does seem to enjoy playing with jazzy themes a lot. I will say, as much as I was saying earlier, I love Friends, and I love the poppy version of that song and just how it was feel good, even though the messaging was about heartbreak and that something was coming to an end. I think V plays around with that theme a lot, kind of giving you the switch around as far as, the music sounding one way, but the messaging being a lot more somber and a lot more sad in the actual lyricism. But the presentation seems really lighthearted. And BTS in general does this really well. But there is a song of his in particular that I always name check. It's one of his songs from his solo songs from BTS's discography, Stigma. Everything about Stigma fascinates me. It fascinates me because it's so sultry and it plays so well into his vocal tone. He has this smoky coffee-like seduction, like a deep roast of coffee, like the most gorgeous notes of, like, I don't know, a oolong tea, or, you know, I can't find the actual descriptors on just how beautifully seductive his voice can be, but there is just something about that bass, that tone of his voice, and Stigma in particular. There's the whole stage show for it, and just how grand it was, and how flamboyant the costuming it was for the stage shows of Stigma. And I can see, like, inserting in the video portion of this podcast, I can insert some clips here and there. The whole drama of it all, very theatrical. And the song sounds seductive, but the actual lyricism and the actual subject matter is very, very sad and forlorn. And it's like BTS's House of Cards as well. There's that whole meme of, you know, how the international armies interpret that song, and then how K-armies actually understand what that song is to be, because you look in the lyrics and it's like completely different, but the tone of it is so seductive. So if he could find a way to do a more velvety, darker tone of music like that, that includes that R&B and jazz element, and it ties into that seduction, whether the subject matter is actually about seduction and about bringing in the listener along with those incredible visuals, or it would be like a song that is really somber in tone but tricks you in how it's presented to you, I would really look forward to. I think he plays with that really well. Stigma is still one of my favorites, if not my favorite solo song from him. I'm not including his actual discography. Whenever I talk about like solo songs from BTS, I'm never really just talking about the music from their actual album features that they're releasing now, pre going into military and afterwards. I'm talking about the solo songs that are depicted on the discography of BTS works. Like, one of Yoongi's is my favorite. As much as I love, you know, August D, that entire persona, and so much of D1 was so heartbreaking for me and helped me through a lot of time. One of my favorite songs from Yoongi, from his solo efforts in the BTS discography world, is Seesaw. Love that song down, love the acoustic version of it, love the studio version of it, just love it, right? So Far Away, you know, both the version that we get through Spotify, the actual extended version that has Jin and Jungkook on it, you know, the version with Adore, you know, like those things. Like, I just, those songs, you know, like my favorite solo from Jimin is Serendipity, like one of my favorite songs of all time. And I mean all time. Like, you line up my top 5 songs from all the artists that I've loved through the entirety of my life, and that top 5 is Jimin's Serendipity, and it's not even touching his actual solo work. Lie is probably in the top 10, but that's another discussion for another video. You know, even Namjoon, like within his own work, you know, excluding his 2 albums, I love Joke. It's such an incredible master play on not only his thought process and how he breaks down his rap and his bars, and the speed at which he can do that, and the actual technicality and the breath work and the control and the anger and the mockery, and him as this final clap back to all of his haters. I just think on a technical term, Joke is such a fantastic song, and it's kind of like a hype song for me too. And there's just something really deeply sexy about that. And I also love Soul from the Mono album, and Forever Rain was like my soundtrack for like God knows how long, you know. Like, there's just so much. Even like Tokyo I loved. But with V, I think Stigma to me is like right up there, and I have been wanting him to revisit this era of him. So I don't know if we'll get more of that in Type 1. I'm really excited to see what he can do. I think he is such an outlier in his musical choicing, and I really am looking forward to it. And if it's anything close to what he gave us as far as the dramatics and the flair of Stigma, along with that smokiness, that seductive, delicious quality that I know that he can bring in his vocals and in presentation, and because he's an actor as well, and I know that drama-wise he can do a lot, and even bringing back an element of having like a film in a music video universe. Like he kind of did this with IU, but I kind of want like a built-in actual storyline and just something really adult and smoky and mysterious. I have no idea if anything I'm saying is making any goddamn sense to you all, but I was just really taken aback, and I'm just really flustered. And I went and sent a message to one of my army friends or army acquaintances, and she still doesn't answer me back, and I'm getting irritated because she's usually the first one to like freak out about Tay stuff. Anytime he like drops a pic of him shirtless, like she's like melting into the floor. So I'm dying to hear her response from it. But it's killing me just seeing like the reaction of the timeline. And of course Taehyung always has to come in with the mollywop. Him and his lying right to your face, straight faced, oh, you know, chapter 2 isn't about us taking our shirt off. He is the king of deadpan humor, let me tell you. He is a funny guy. It's just a funny guy. But I love it. I love that in Boraland, you're just constantly on your toes. I had to make a video. I had to talk about it. All men do is lie. God damn it. Lie. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that for today's episode. Tell me your comments below. What are you expecting? Is this going to be a feature-length album again from Tay, or is it going to be like a film style, documentary style thing? What do you think? Is there something more at play here? Is there any hidden clues that you're thinking about? What kind of music are you expecting? If this is like a second release from him, which I expect it to be, like what tone do you think that he should play around with, or you're just open to whatever because it's Tay and it's gonna be good? You let me know in the comments below. If you're watching via YouTube, if you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I love you. I appreciate you so much. We're coming to the end of June almost. Crazy. It's crazy. Jin is back. Oh my God. Anyways, till the next episode. Bye.